His life was amazing, he said, but he still thought of her. And didn't she regret leaving him and giving all this away? Then Kayla could be heard in the background, wanting to know who he was talking to, and he'd hung up. Remi had laughed, then cried a little, drunk her cheap bubbles and continued scribbling down her goals. She was alone in her old house, with barely enough superficial interaction to keep her from becoming a shuffling, mumbling hermit. It wasn't social or glamorous, but it was the life she had chosen, and still wanted, which meant hugging the bastard. She let wistful longing flit across her face, enough to stroke his ego, and stepped into his embrace. He squeezed her too tight for too long. His aftershave and unfamiliar spicy fog she'd have to wash out of her shirt and off her skin. When he finally let go, she let him inside and followed him through to the kitchen. "Babe, the place is looking great." Babe, seriously. That had been tolerable when they were married, completely infuriating now they weren't. "Thank you." "I mean, look what you've done here." Simon turned to inspect the large, open-plan space at the back of the house, his gaze passing over the dark cabinetry, feature light fittings, top-range appliances, and sleek wood heater. He slid a hand over the white marble of the bench tops. "You extended?" "Yes." "Good job." "It's been a long, hard slog, but worth it." If Remi could make him understand what the house meant to her, he surely wouldn't kick her out. This was her home, her joy, and her obsession for the last 4 years. Through months and months of stress, hard work, sleepless nights, council negotiations, and unexpected disasters, she had brought out the best in the old girl. You remember the original kitchen, that funny little red brick lean-to? It was obviously way too small. The only way to get the space was to push outwards. The council allowed the alterations, eventually, when they saw the facade and main floor plan would stay and I wasn't destroying the heritage value of the property. They recognised I was preserving and improving the building. These extruded steel window and door frames and the black sink external cladding give a clear distinction between the heritage sandstone and the modern addition. The council liked that. He walked to the sink and flicked the tap on and off, as if he were checking the water pressure, then turned to face her. "I can see where all my money has been spent. I think you might have been a bit loose with the budget." He rested against the edge of the bench, arms folded. "A few emotional decisions here, I reckon." And there it was. Build her up in one breath, knock her down in the next. "It wasn't your money," she said evenly. "Really? That fat lump sum that poured into your account came from some other magic money fairy, did it?" His wide smile was meant to make it a joke, a bit of banter, but she knew the snide intent was real. She bit back a terse reply, trying to keep her voice neutral. It was the agreed settlement. It wasn't over the top. She hadn't fought his offer, not wanting a drawn-out, point-scoring, squabbling match. Simon shook his head slowly and huffed an exaggerated sigh, as though being forced to explain a simple concept to a dim-witted customer. "A very generous payout. I've always looked after you, Remi. You know that $500,000 was money I'd earned. It came from me." Sure. At the time of the divorce, he had been earning a hefty salary, paid by his old man from a family company valued in the billions, for a job he'd been crap at, in a position he hadn't worked for. He liked having Remi by his side, seeing her as a vital part of a social package. Funny thing, though, before they'd got married, before his family finally allowed him into the business, before Remi's career imploded, she'd been the main earner. For the 3 years she'd been on TV, she'd been earning way more than him. Back then, she'd been the one paying all the bills and taking them on holidays. She'd say...